Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to a mental break. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to any new subscribers. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for following. I appreciate you guys so much. Now, having said that, let me jump right into this video because I don't believe in doing a bunch of yapping. Just get to it. Let me just say this quickly for those of you who are clicking this video for the first time. My name is Deanna. I'm a psych nurse. I've been a psych nurse for a very long time in the double numbers. And here on a mental break, we take viral stories, we break them down and talk about what makes sense, and we hold people accountable who needs to be held accountable. On this channel, I'm not sugarcoating, I'm telling it how it is, because in this current climate, people don't like to take accountability. But on this channel, that's what we're going to do. Now, you see the thumbnail, let's jump into it. Now, you see the headlines with Shannon Sharpe and Smokey Robinson, and it's a lot going on. So let's break it down. This is not going to be a long video. I just wanted to get on here and, do my little thing. Now, let's start with Smokey Robinson. Below is a link to the video channel, Make It Make Sense. He read the full court documents because I've seen other videos online where some of these YouTubers are not reading the full court documents or don't have all of the information. What's going on with this case is that there are immigrants in this case. See, I don't think everybody is telling that. And one of the victims, or the alleged victims rather, is saying that this went on for 20 years. Now, that one I find kind of strange. Now, if it's someone that's been a year or two, but 20 years, you could have found another job in 20 years. I mean, even as an immigrant, there's a lot of under the table jobs that you could have gotten in California besides working for his sleaze self. Now, if this is true, I mean, listen, we don't know for a fact. This has to play itself out in court because we don't really know. Now, people are saying, oh, he's 85. What can he do? It's not about what can he do. It's the power and control that someone in Smokey Robinson's position has. You have to remember, if these people, most of the victims are immigrants. I think there's only one American victim. The other ones are immigrants. And they were threatened with deportation. And they were told nobody would believe them because, he's a celebrity, and this and that. So it's possible to use that, if this is true. So, like I said, this is all alleged. I don't know. This has to play itself out. So I don't know why everybody acts like this is a big surprise. My mama's upset, my aunties are upset, and I'm sure y'all have family members that are upset because people love Smokey Robinson from back in the day. He represents the Motown era from back when our mamas was growing up. So again, I don't know, and I'm not going to say it's not possible. I've interviewed many people in my life, men and women, from children all the way up to senior citizens, and I've heard it all. So there's nothing that I haven't heard. I've heard things sometimes that have kept me awake at night. I've heard things that I had to resign from different positions because I just couldn't take it no more. So I've been on treatment teams for high profile cases that have been to court in my city, cases that have been on the news in my city. So believe me when I tell you, if you think an 85-year-old man can't do something perverted, think again, because I've seen it before. So for everybody to say, oh, he 85, what can he do? If you have power and money, you could do a lot. So yeah, it depends on the victim. See, people like him, if it is true, at his age, you're going to go after someone that you have the power over, where you don't have physical power, but you have psychological and financial power. So that's something that could be done. So we have to wait and see if this plays out in court. This is not going to be a long video because, again, there's a lot of videos on YouTube right now talking about this topic. I was just jumping on here giving my 2 cents about it, from my point of view and what makes sense. So we don't know if Smokey is out here, out here doing the take that. We don't know, but this will all play itself out. Now, as for Shannon Sharpe is concerned, listen, Shannon Sharpe, this thing is a whole mess because we don't know what team he plays for. We don't know if he's on the boys' side or the girls. He's messing around with basic. The girl was 19 at the time. That's a child. When you are 56 years old, that is a child. That's knocking at the door of the P word. That's when you knocking at that door. Now, all this, now I'm gonna tell y'all something, because I'm a psych nurse and I'm telling you, listen up and listen up. And you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. And if you want to sit here and dispute it and talk crazy, go right ahead. Any 56-year-old man that thinks it's okay to date or have relations with a 19-year-old girl actually wants to go younger. Okay? You can sit there and say what you want. I know. I know. There's no 56-year-old man that finds a 19-year-old attractive when you got everything going on for you. You got your head on straight. There's something going on up there with Shannon Sharpe that ain't right. Something ain't right because that's not normal. And 19 is a child. She just went to the prom. She just graduated high school. She barely knows how to wash. Okay, so I'm having a hard time with that. She looks like a little girl. Take away the makeup. She has the body of a 12-year-old. Pay attention. And if y'all think that that's not the case, think again. Okay, because I'm telling you what the real is. And any man out here, and there's another thing, ladies, pay attention, and you don't have to believe me, but I'm telling you, I've been doing this for over 20 years. I'm telling you, any man that says, well, she was over 18, you better get him the side eye and check the kids in your family. You better do it. I'm going to tell you that right now. Any man that is looking at this, that is over, I'm gonna say over, say 22 years old, 23 years old, you better check them. You better check them because that is still a child. Nobody cares about the age. I don't care what the body look like. In the mind, that is a child. She can speak. She can still be manipulated. The frontal lobe doesn't close until 25. Under 25, insight and judgment is not fully formed. A 19-year-old can be groomed, manipulated, molded. So again, if y'all sit here and y'all want to believe that any man saying she's legal, they just use that as an excuse. So any man that think it's okay, especially men that, and like I said, 2019 at 19, a 19-year-old shouldn't be going beyond a 22-year-old. 23 is pushing it. That's pushing it. Anything beyond that, especially if you get into 28, 29, 30, 31, uh-uh. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And y'all can say whatever you want to say. I don't care. You can challenge me in the comments. You can say whatever you want to say. That's what it is. I've been doing this too long and I know. So that's why I said, you ladies, any men around you saying, well, she was over 18, watch them, watch them, watch them. That's all I got to say. They might not be doing nothing that you know of, but check that phone, check that computer, because they doing something, because that's not normal. A man that has mentally developed properly would not be looking at a 19-year-old. Would not. They would look at them as a child the same way a grown woman looks at a 19-year-old as a child. So again, y'all can keep it up if you want to. That's all I got to say. That listen, I'm not worried about it because I don't have them problems over here. But if y'all think it's okay for these men to be running around saying, well, she's 18, she's grown, and that man is 56 years old, okay, y'all let me know how that work out. But I'm not going to stay too long on here because, like I said, it ain't a whole lot to say about these cases. These things have to play out in court. What if these things are true? The proof will come out in court. So I'm not going to sit here and say that this one did it and this one didn't, or whatever the case may be. It's all going to play it out in court. That's why it's called a mental break. Hold people accountable. So I came on here to give y'all my little 10 cent. I'm not going, I'm going to close this video out. And I'm just letting y'all know, y'all need to pay attention to what's out here in these here streets because a lot of people are being exposed right now. And like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but if it isn't, these are still matters that are coming up that as a society and a community, we need to pay attention to, and we need to start digging a little deeper when it comes to these men that's messing with these young girls like that. So y'all need to start digging a little deeper. So all right, now I'm going to get off of here, and y'all have a good one, and y'all take care.